Hi there. It's Tuesday the 26th of January. We're 11:45. I'm working on the horse sled again today. My seat frame that goes on my main frame, my floor frame, I'm actually putting fasteners in these. They're number 8, 1 inch, 2 of them each corner. Basically they're just there for clamping force because the mortise and joint does all the work. And here and here on both sides I'm going to be putting brass screws, number 10s, 1.5 inches. Okay. Also this morning my bandsaw conked out on me, and it is quite a job to get that motor off. It's the capacitor that failed on me, and that's where it bolts up there. I maybe should have made a separate video, but I got 2 belt speeds on this thing, right? One thing I did notice was that the pulley for the belt on the armature was loose. It wasn't going anywhere, but it was loose. And the motor was full of dust. I just cleaned it out. I'm going to grease it up. I ordered a capacitor on Amazon, and I'm waiting for it. I am going to be countersinking. These are deck screws. They're rust resistant, so it won't rot the wood. I don't have any more brass screws left, but it's for the side panels. Right? These are square, to my amazement. I must have done something right last year. I'm going to be putting maybe 4 screws. You should always put an even number of screws in a bore. Never put 3, because it'll fail on the 3rd one. If you have an even number, it'll crack in between. It won't crack where the screw is. Now some people may not believe that, but everything I've seen so far in my woodworking life indicates that. So I'm going to clamp this onto here, and I'm going to put 1 inch, 4 inch, 4 inch, 1 inch from the side. Okay. This isn't plywood. This is actually one full board. I'm afraid it's going to crack, but that's what was on the sled before. Just getting a veggie clamp here. Make sure nothing's protruding on the sides. And okay, I should go from there. I should take some measurements first. This is 1.5 inches. And over here I have 1 inch. So oh, fell on the eraser. I'm lucky. So I'm gonna go half, 1.5 inches. So there. So at 1 inch from the bottom, 1 inch from the top. I'll put a screw. Well, I put on the sideboards. Every time I need some light, I'm either standing in front of it or I need more. I need more light. You can see the screw holes. Those are patio screws or decking screws. They're strong enough, but you're better off putting wood screws. Like brass is fragile, they snap. Steel, they rust. So you gotta sort of use your judgment. If they had stainless steel, that doesn't rust. And I've bolted down my my seat. Okay, now like I was seeing on the board, where my finger is, there's like a 1/2 inch recess to put like a 1/4 inch plywood or something here. I don't know if it was like a storage where you could put stuff underneath the seat or not. The other sled I'm copying this from, it's a Cutter sled, and they were made, I think, in Quebec or Maine, back early 1900s, or late 1800s, I should say. And the trunk, this is what I meant by the rumble seat, right? This, let's see, this was supposed to be a leg, but it ended up something else. Now I put a 5-degree angle on there, so I'm going to be cutting that plywood 5 degrees, and look what's on the other side. It just friggin' I was lucky. I don't have any more of these big boards, so, and here's the same thing. If I go my 5 degrees, I just by the corner. So I'm gonna try to cut that with a coping saw. It's gonna be straight as possible, I know that. And I actually have to put I've had some markings on here. I think I have to remove this part here. I gotta put another piece here. I'm not sure where I actually bolted onto that. Oh, I put a bolt here. And that is there. There's my X. And I have an inch worth of material to screw in here. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna wait to actually put my back piece here. It'll determine the shape of this piece that I'm going to put in the corner. Starting to look like a sled. And these pieces, as you can tell, they're already have a bolt through it. It goes here. That'll determine the slope, or the 5 degrees on the front, right? I'll get it from the other side. Maybe you'll see better. You see? There's a slope, a 5-degree slope. And I gotta somehow bend these or make something. That's where you put your reins on, right? Okay, I don't know if it's all in the frame. I cut these at 5 degrees, and I cut these panels at 5 degrees. They go like as such. Okay. So that one's done. Now I'm doing the back side. I've done the same thing. 5 degrees, 5 degrees. Now I'm aiming for the height. Okay, I don't want to, I gave myself a little bit of room there just in case. I'm leaving a piece that will be vulnerable. Well, what you see here, okay, is supposed to go like that, and there's supposed to be a quarter round here, and that's where you let your reins, like you tie your reins up to that, and I came up, I don't think I could bend it. Like I don't have a, I'd have to make a jig, and I'd have to steam it and try a few pieces. Like if I was manufacturing these, I'd make the jig. Like I still have the jig that I made for the skis, right? They got a half round in front of them. I still have the jig for that, but I'd have to make a jig for this too. And this might only be a one of, unless somebody else wants some, or I can start manufacturing them somehow. But I'm gonna go with this. The wood was properly dried and it's strong enough, even though the grain's going that way. You know, if it was bent, the grain would go this way, right? But even though it's against the grain, it's strong enough. And I don't know if I'm going to put a plywood or two inch strips, right, glued together to make that round. Okay, I'm trying something. If that fails, I'm just going to take a piece like that, go from there to there, and then put a flat piece across there, and a flat piece going down. That's all I do. So, I'm going to put a bandsaw, put that up. And cut the bend out of it. It's solid, it's holding, it's dry lumber. Once I seal it up with paint, hopefully it'll hold. And if ever it doesn't, all I'll do is slice a piece here and bring it straight out. This goes like this here. I've actually, to make sure that I'm 5 degrees, right, this thing's already flat. Looks like I'm beyond it a little bit here. It looks like here. I'm a little beyond it. And then this side. Good. I'm good on this side. Huh. I thought I was okay on this side, but it's close. It's really close. Close enough. I think I can pull it in with some screws. But here I take a piece of paper. Put it at the end of the file, so that way I'm not digging into my facial board, and I'm removing some here. I'm flush. I'm gonna try the board again. Mm. Yeah. So I've just counter sunk a hole in here and pre-drilled it right there with my Makita countersink jig. I want this to ease of dismantling, so I treat it as if it was steel. Make sure everything can actually easily. So there I can put some putty on there. Countersink is good. Now I'm going to preform the threads. It doesn't seem to be going too tight. Oak is really tricky, man. Even if you mic the middle of your screw and it says 1/8, you don't want to break a screw in there. That's what happened to me on the other side here. Okay, so that should be good. Threads are already formed. So now I can actually get this going. That's good there. Now, so those wedges, I put them here and on the other side. And I'm going to tighten everything together. And screw this through here into this piece here. I'll put longer screws on the top.